Sorry. Yes, I am.
All right, beautiful. All right, so listen, everybody, thank you for joining another Smart Home Choice event. And on the call this evening, we've got Mandy Branham. Mandy, thank you very much for being here. And listen, and if you guys aren't talking, if you guys don't mind, just muting yourselves, okay? So anybody that's new to Smart Home Choice, my name is Gary Hibbert. I'm a real estate agent, and I've also got my partners, Christopher Hummel, who is also a real estate agent and investor. I've also got Quentin Cordick, the same, and then Darlene Hibbert, who is she does project management. She's doing a lot of stuff in the background and working on launching a new business that we're super excited about. So with that, I want to give a little quick introduction to Mandy Branham. And I'll say one of the things that when you're investing in real estate is you run out of cash super quick, all right? And I'll say this, I think one of the best skill sets that I ever learned was the art of attracting money. And I'm really good at it. But Mandy Branham came along and she made me look like an amateur. And so, that's why I brought her here this evening, because I want to learn some more from her, like you guys want to learn from her. And look, and back in 2007, she was kind of at the point where she wanted to make a change in her life. She was tired of, working hard and making other people rich. And so she decided to jump into real estate investing. She became the JV Queen. I don't think anybody else has that title in the GTA, Manny. Nobody does. You're the JV Queen. You're the CEO of Solutions Driven. You've been on numerous podcasts. You were actually on my podcast I released it last week. Phenomenal podcast. I enjoyed having a conversation with you. I enjoyed having you actually in the studio. It was a lot of fun. And you've shared the stage with, I would say, some of the best in the industry. You really and truly have. So Mandy, thank you very much for being here. I'm super excited that you're here. And I think everybody here is going to learn a lot. And listen, and before I kind of pass it over to you, Mandy, the way it's going to work, Mandy's going to talk for about maybe 15, 20 minutes or so, go through what she has to, share her secrets. And then we're going to kind of ask a couple questions. And then everybody that's on the call, around that 7:30 mark, we're going to talk about upcoming events. Everybody turn your cameras on because I want you guys all to ask Mandy some tough questions, okay? Tough questions.
Tough questions.
Yes, well, I know you got the answers for all of them, that's why.
Oh yeah, that's it. Gary, you make chatting and podcasts not tough. So it was great to be a guest, great to be sharing all these little tips and tricks, because really we're just normal people that have honed in on something that makes me come alive, that I'm inspired to do, and that I wake up every day going, I am so glad that today is, going to be a great day. And sometimes it's really hard. Let's just be clear on this. So, I got into joint ventures, just as Gary said, to be able to, continue to build a portfolio once we've run out of money. And, sometimes we had mortgage qualification space, but no money. Other times we had both, and we still chose to bring in a partner. And I realized that as much as we say, he who has the gold makes the rules, right? We've all kind of heard that. Except what if us here in the real estate game, learning from the experts that were on here tonight, smart home choice people, and we have this power of being able to buy real estate, what if that's become the gold? What if it's not about he who has the money, it's he who has the asset? Like, how many multiple offers situations have you guys been in recently, and it's the person that comes out with the property that is actually, we'll call it the winner, even though sometimes the price that somebody might pay for a multiple offer situation doesn't necessarily feel like a win. But so in this scenario, you've got to be able to realize whether you are somebody that wants to own real estate and you've been making reasons, or life has gotten in the way why you haven't been able to do it. Okay. Oh, my wife's not on board. My kids are really active right now and I don't have time. Oh, my boss, my job, it takes me, I'm working overtime. I'm working all these crazy hours. I'm working to make somebody else rich and I'm really busy, or I'm too tired. I'm exhausted. I don't want to have to learn all these new things. And so you potentially are a great potential financial partner for somebody who's over here. Somebody called me recently, his Tasmanian devil, and I'm like, okay, so I got another property and I found another property, and you know, who wants to partner with me? And I'm, oh my gosh, I'm just alive and I'm excited when it comes to joint ventures. So, but maybe you're like me and you're like, oh my God, you're not going to believe this, but I found another great deal and I found another great deal. And oh my gosh, my realtors keep bringing me these great deals. And so you're the one on this side that has the gold of the property. And on the other side, maybe you're the person that's like, look it, I actually have the gold, the cash, the ability to qualify. And now you're just looking to be able to come together and put together this perfect little partnership. Certainly not perfect. There's lots of ups and downs that go along with joint ventures along the way. But you find a way to meet a need that you didn't have without the other side of the partnership. So why I chose joint ventures over borrowing people's private money, because someday we're going to be down in Turks and Caicos and I'm going to be surrounded by 40 other millionaires, people that we've built real estate together, and now we're going to be able to write off this vacation down at a resort. Who knows, maybe I'll buy the resort. That's another story. But there we are down there, and we're going to be able to, you know, talk real estate the whole time and know that real estate has together been able to help us build our wealth. So those are some of the reasons that I turned to joint ventures. The typical, I'll see if I can share my screen here. This will stop the other screen share. Do you want to continue? Am I okay to continue, Gary? We'll see.
Yeah, that's fine, Mandy. Go ahead.
Okay, perfect. There we go. Oh, I turned this off. Larry was helping me. So how do we split this? So there are a lot of different ways to split a joint venture, okay? I don't want to tell you that there's one that's right and one that's wrong. My share is to be able to acknowledge that there are some that are truly better off than others. And, you know, I watched a show called The Undercover Billionaire, and the gentleman in there said something one time that just resonated, and I think it's a great way to be able to start this off quickly, is that every situation needs to be win-win. And it was right at the time when he was negotiating a lease for a restaurant, and he had to compromise on what he was going to pay to rent this restaurant, and the restaurant owner had to compromise on on his terms that he was willing to rent to the billionaire. And so the billionaire comes out to be able to say, I hope you understand, but that every win-win scenario actually comes with a little bit of pain on both sides, okay? So just think that a little bit as you go forward, because hence it's from a billionaire and we listen to what billionaires tell us, okay? And so as you're going in and you're trying to create how you choose to want to split up your joint venture, I want you just to kind of understand that there might be a little bit of pain still on both sides. So there, oh, a little bit about me. Not that you need to know much more about me. Gary did a great job. I have a very high value on wealth awareness. So when I talk about billionaires, when I look at somebody's diamond ring, when I see a Maserati or a Porsche, I am very aware of wealth. And I encourage you to start to be wealth aware. What's going on? Where's the money flowing? And what are people doing to be able to attract the capital that you need for your assets? But what are other people doing to attract the capital? Okay. I've been married for 18 years. I got a couple kids, you know, that's just me. So who needs a joint venture? Who needs one? Yeah. Well, if you are making excuses for reasons that you can't get into the market because there's no properties, because there's no deals, because the bank won't give you financing, because, maybe you need to partner with somebody who's like, you know what, I just get shit done. If you want a property, I've got some stuff, so why don't we just come together? Maybe you're the working partner and you are finding deal after deal after deal, and you're like, my capital's gonna run out soon. I better start looking for joint venture partners, okay? What am I looking for in a JV deal? That's a great question, and I really want you to be able to answer that question so that you're not like, you know, somebody says, hey, well, I'll come and partner with you, and afterwards you're like, ooh, I don't even know if that's really what I wanted out of a joint venture deal. I'm looking to be able to build long-term wealth. So I'm looking to attract partners who are also have that same timeline, that same vision, and that this isn't their last $100,000. We just really want to make sure of that you're looking for somebody who also has some financial stability. Where do I find a joint venture? Isn't that one of the most famous questions there? Where do you find all your money, Mandy? And I always say, the money is already watching. So if you are showing up to events like this, to regular networking events, maybe post-COVID or when you were showing up before, or to work, or to family events, or just to your social media platform, you know, you're looking around for people who are saying that they're, you know, they're looking to build their wealth. They're scared of the stock market. They're looking to diversify. Those are, you know, places for you to be able to go and find the money, be attractive to the money. The money is looking for a secure place to go. Are you a secure place for that money to go? Okay, meet or solve the money's problem. Okay, when do I need a joint venture? You need it before you need it. You need to start looking before you really need it. You need it if you want to continue to grow and you are having to partner with people for their resources to come together with your resources. Let's do that, and then it comes together. So how should we split this? 50-50 is very common in a real estate joint venture. 60-40, 70-30, and I've even seen like 90-10. You could even do an 80-20. That's a very unique scenario. Okay. Oh, wow. There you go. Thank you. No. Option done. Gary told me I needed to be fast. No, it's all good. Option 1, 50-50. In my joint ventures, I split things 50-50. That's meaning that I'm asking let me be clear. I'm asking my joint venture partners to bring in all of the capital, all of the, where is that slide? Where, I'm trying to find, where am I? Oh, no, that's not it. Where'd it go? I have this is the one I wanted. There we go. Okay. This is really important in all of these splits. I want you to understand that a passive investor, what you're looking for from a passive investor is the person to bring all the capital, down payment costs, closing costs, renovation costs, and potentially to be able to set up a corporation if that's how they choose to be able to hold the asset. We're also asking of our financial partner to stay financially in good standings, no bankruptcy, you know, keep your credit cards all up to date, stay in the country, pay your taxes, things like that. Okay, so I say pretty standard stuff, but it might need to be explained. Now, on the other side of a joint venture, look at all those responsibilities for a working partner, and that's just a sample list. So the working partner will actually, and I think Gary, this might be your list from a long time ago. Responsibilities include finding and negotiating the property. You're sending documents to your lawyer, your mortgage broker, your insurance agent, your real estate agent. Like you become the property expert. Like that's where the working expert partner comes from, because you just know everything about the property. Okay. You know the rents, you know the renovations, you know the tenants, you know all these kind of things. What's the potential after repair value? How much undervalue did you negotiate it? You know everything about that property. You're bringing potentially the joint venture agreement. Might be, it's a very valuable piece of document to be able to bring to a joint venture relationship. You are bringing the management of the asset. Probably have a phenomenal team together that you're able to call on your real estate agents, and you're like, hey, can you let me know about any legal duplexes that sell in the Durham region, Oshawa, Peterborough, because I want to make sure that I'm on the pulse of knowing when my property has gone up in value. So when you're working really closely with your realtors, they're going to be able to hand you that information, which will allow you to be able to refinance and buy some more assets. Okay. As the working partner, I'm managing that asset, but I'm also managing the property manager. I'm managing the project manager. I'm making sure that the trades are coordinated. You see all these like moving pieces for the expert working partner. It's not a simple, straightforward job that we bring to the table. And, you know, I quickly described that, bringing that to the table. If you're asking your JV partner for $100,000, I want you to envision yourself literally bringing $100,000 worth of value. Look at that list of sample responsibilities. That right there is worth $100,000, okay? If that's what you're asking your financial partner to bring, okay? What's the value of having up-to-date bookkeeping that you can just hand your accountant the year-end tax preparation documents to say, here, account for these with the rest of my tax documents? That's invaluable, right? You're not delayed, it's not whatever. So if you find a working partner that's able to provide you the tax documents, you're eons ahead. So, you know, to quickly be able to just sum this up, my share is, I want you to figure out which side of these responsibilities, which side of this joint venture partnership do you want to fall on? Are you somebody that can potentially do this on your own, but you haven't been able to pull the trigger? You're afraid, you're fearful, you got a lot of uncertainty, or are you on the other side that you're the working partner and you're just so eager and you've got phenomenal power team behind you, and all you're looking for is somebody to be able to say, together we can do more. So that's what a joint venture accomplishes, is teamwork. Together everyone accomplishes more. And I love the strategy. I feel that it's a way for me to be able to add value back to my partners who potentially wouldn't be able to do this on their own. Not that they wouldn't be able to do this on their own. Gosh, I could probably give myself a root canal, but I choose to go to my dentist because he's really good at it, okay? So I'm pretty sure you come into this, you could probably figure this out on your own, or you can find an expert working partner who wakes up every day going, how do I add value? How can I find more deals and connect with more partners? So figure out which side of the coin you're on and connect to the other side if you need to.
Perfect. Mandy, thank you very much. That was great. And now, is that it, or yeah?
820.
Nailed it. All right. So listen, you know I got lots of questions for you, right?
I know you do.
All right. So for somebody that's new in this call, or maybe somebody who's thinking about finally doing a joint venture partnership, and obviously that there's a little bit of fear in that if you haven't done it before. So now they found a partner. Okay. Now they're starting to go out and they're looking for properties. When would you say is the best time to sign that joint venture agreement?
Let's go back a couple steps, because what comes first, the property or the partner? And I actually believe that it's a really delicate mix, okay? Because I'm sure we've all had these examples of, well, I found a partner and then I found a property and then the partner withered away. Or I found a partner and we're looking for a property and we're in bidding wars and we can't find anything. And I promised him that he would only need $100,000 and nothing meeting his criteria. And what happens? And the property doesn't show up. So the partner withers away. And so it's like this delicate balance that I believe that as a working partner, you should be finding the asset. And when you find the asset, the partner will be attracted to the asset, to your energy around having found this asset, to your vision around what you're going to do with the asset. You know, the first time we took, it was hilarious actually. The first time we took an unknown realtor through a house that we wanted to convert, he had no idea what we were doing. He's like, isn't this a lovely basement? And he's like showing us around, and we're like, he has no clue what it is we're gonna do to this basement. Like, was obviously a realtor that we never worked with again. We just happened to show up at an open house and downstairs we go. And so as a working partner, you need to be able to explain your vision to everybody. Okay. And so when you find this asset, and I'm sure you've seen this, Gary, do you know your clients that are just like, they're just beaming. They found the deal and they're so excited and engaged. The money is watching Okay. And so sometimes there's a lot of people that do a lot of this. Oh, I'm going to attract a joint venture partner. Oh, I found a partner. And you're like, you haven't even started to look for a property. How do you even know that he's going to be engaged if you haven't found the property yet? So I feel it's a really delicate balance, and I want the working partners to always be looking at properties. Put in an offer, a conditional offer, 100% conditional offer, and then go looking for the partner. At the same time, you're always kind of looking for the partner and you're looking for the property. So, the perfect match will come.
Okay. And then when do you sign that agreement? Is it during the conditional period? Can you do it?
I sign it at closing. Okay. I do support a letter of intent that kind of says, hey, Gary, you and I are going to work together. Okay. Yep. And I'm not really holding any money from you. Like we're just kind of committed to each other for about 90 days. You hold your money for me. I'll go looking for property for you. And at the end of the 90 days, if we haven't found anything, go put your money to work. I'm going to obviously figure out a new strategy because I can't find what I thought I could, and away we go. Okay. And then other than that, look at everybody. Oh, I just changed my view. Now I see everybody.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you think is the biggest mind block that most people have when they're thinking about doing this? Is it the money? Is it trying to find the deal? Is it trying to figure out who's the right partner? Like, what do you think is the biggest roadblock for investors going down this path for the first time?
Who am I to be able to ask people for money? Who am I? Mm-hmm. Why would somebody give me $100,000? There's a lot of people, and, funny as it is, how many people here, invest in Windsor? I'll just pick on Windsor. I apologize because it's Windsor. Okay. And why is that potentially? Because it's the lowest priced city. So if you find a house for $100,000 and all you need to do is ask your JV partner for $20,000, that's great. But that's where you believe that you're able to attract $20,000. So people's biggest roadblock is their ability to continue to grow in their wealth awareness, to be able to say, the first time that I asked one of my partners for $1 million, I walked away from there. I was like, holy shit, I just asked him for $1 million, right? Yeah. The first time I had $16.5 million worth of offers on the table. Disclaimer, I didn't get them. They didn't get them. But it doesn't matter because the story was for me that I was big enough. I was developed enough to put $16.5 million worth of offers on the table. Okay, so you have to grow in your wealth awareness. You've got to grow in your self-worth in order to be able to continue to ask people for more money. Because one of your biggest roadblocks is going to be up here that says, who am I to be able to ask this person for $100,000? Who am I?
100%. Yeah. And listen, and we talked about this on the podcast as well too. And I'm huge on this, is that it's the mindset. And I remember too, there was times when I was going out with joint venture partners and we'd get that property and I'd be like, who am I to be telling them where to put their $100,000? But over time, you do build that confidence where now, you're asking people for millions of dollars. You're going to probably go ask for an island probably soon right now, right? How does somebody protect themselves? If they're not on title, me and you are going to partner. I give you the money. How do I protect myself? How do I know that you don't take off to an island and sell that property on me?
So you are my financial partner and I'm the working expert partner. Yeah. You're on title. You are on title. You actually never transact to give me $100,000, we'll say, as a down payment. That would be a 20% down payment on a $500,000 house. You go to the lawyers, you qualify for the mortgage, you go and you give that $100,000 to the bank. Okay. Yep. So really what you're kind of asking is, how does Mandy, the expert working partner, protect herself?
Correct.
Okay. Because there is this weird stage that the asset is assigned over to my JV partner and it's in their name and we haven't closed on it yet. And there's no joint venture agreement yet. Again, I get that signed at closing. And you want to know what, so people, this is what most of my financial partners will say to me at this time. Please don't leave me. I don't want an asset. I don't want a house in Barrie. I wouldn't even know what to do with it. I was like, don't worry, I'm not leaving, okay? But is it a worry? Yeah. But you're never really giving me money. Let's just be clear. In my scenario, there is no money coming to me that's not allocated to renovations, that is, paid out of a joint account. So so maybe that's a great scenario. Make sure this is like total transparency here. I want to, if I'm going to give you 10 grand to pay the electrician, show me the invoice. Okay, no problem. In my scenario, it gets paid out of a joint account. If I need to pay the contractor, here's the invoice. You can see it. This is where it's going. There's no markup. There's no anything. It's going straight to direct to pay the contractor. How do you know that the working partner is doing work that you said is getting done, right? And I send pictures to my JV partners. Not every day, not every week, but hey, we just passed, the upper unit is able to be rented, take a look. Here's some, the pictures of the fireplace and the brand new kitchen we added in, and here's the new lease agreement. So you're constantly in connection to your joint venture partner. So if it's ever like, oh, all you need to do is give me the money and you're done. I mean, as much as I say my partners are passive, they absolutely are. I'm going to say that maybe 5% of my partners have ever been in the assets that they own. The other 95%, I even have partners I've never shaken their hands. I know that was like post-COVID, but I've never met them in person because they're investing in an investment, a numbers-based choice, not an emotional decision, things like that. So that's one way to be able to ensure that you have protection. Any money that you're giving your working partner is that there are invoices to correlate to the money, or that the down payment goes straight to a lawyer and it really never transacts over to the working partner's hands.
Okay. One last question, and then I want to open it up to everybody that's on the call. Horror story. What's one of the worst things that's happened to you? And I think it's important to share this so that everybody that's on this call that's listening doesn't have to experience what Mandy went through.
Yep. I've got a few.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah. So I'd say that I get my joint venture agreement signed on the day of closing, and I tell you that for leading up to that, and the bank, and some people will say, joint ventures are illegal. They're not. They're taught. They're very legal. But the share is, get your joint venture agreement signed on the day of closing. So we had partners, we brought them into 2 deals, phenomenal deals. I brought them up to value. And a year later, we went to refinance them, and each asset had gone up $100,000. Okay. And all this time, our partner's like, yeah, we'll sign it. Yeah, oh, Mandy, you're the best thing that ever happened to our portfolio. Oh, Mandy, these are great. And then I get a letter from their lawyer that says they choose not to be joint venture partners with you anymore, and they're buying you out, and here's your, I think it was like $43,000. So let me turn that, because I didn't have the joint venture agreement signed, it cost me $60,000, but let's just be clear, I got paid 43. I didn't have any money in the deal. My name wasn't on title. So other than a little bit of like tarnished, pride and some tears in the car, and I Tony Robbins myself to change, who I was at the time, that was that. And I was like, thank you very much for that very, very costly learning lesson. Get the darn joint venture agreement signed. Yeah, get it signed. We've gone over budget. That's a horror story. Gone over budget horribly, like COVID and costs and sewer backup. And so you've got to, so you have to be able to talk this through. You've got to be able to just go, okay, this is shitty, but we've got to be able to still work together here if we want to hold this joint venture together for however long we choose to do it. So it's really made me man up a lot to be able to say, we are $35,000 over budget, and I know that's over your contingency, and how are we going to make this work? So that's a really big horror story, but it happens, and you just need to be able to have that conversation.
All right, thanks for sharing that, Mandy. Okay, so listen, we're going to talk about some upcoming events. Chris, you want to kind of go through that?
Go through it. Yeah, sure.
All right, and we're going to get you back on in a minute, Mandy.
Yeah, you got me. Everybody can see. Perfect. All right, look at us, huh? The perfect core team, huh? Mandy, what do you think? It's a good picture. All right, listen, guys. If you guys can't reach any of us, make sure you catch up with the young ladies in our admin. You know, in the back office, it's Adelaide and Sierra. They're great, phenomenal, and they will take care of you. All right, Gary. Next slide, please.
And before we talk about the next one, there, everybody that just finished listening to Mandy as well too. If you guys liked what she had to say, just either give a thumbs up or a smiley face or just something. Give her some love, okay?
Yes. All right. Okay. So upcoming events. Oh, this one actually was a lot of fun. This is Gary's podcast, and you guys can catch this on iTunes. You got a whole host of them, but we had Ryan Carr on, who is an entrepreneur extraordinaire, and he's doing all types of great things in real estate. So, he's a popular name. So make sure you tune into that one. And I was on that one. We had a lot of fun. All right. What else we got? Yes. Okay. So live webinar coming up with Neil D'Souza. Now, you guys want to know how to take advantage and use private funds. You guys want to know how to work VTB deals for, any type of your investing. This is the live webinar to check out. So that one will be coming up. When we got the date here? Next Thursday at 8 p.m. So make sure you guys tune in. Listen, if you guys listen to Mandy, you definitely need to be listening to Neil just the same, right? So hand in hand, right? Okay, Gary, what else will we have here? Oh, this one. Hey, look, this one's going to be a lot of fun too. Live webinar, Nightmare at Smart Home Choice. It's almost Halloween. So we will be talking about our nightmarish horror stories. You can't go through real estate. You can't be successful unless you've stumbled a few times. And believe us, we have stumbled but a few times. So we're going to talk to you guys. We're going to show you that, hey, it's not all, muffins, cupcakes,
peaches and creams.
Yeah, it's not all peaches and cream. There's a little bit of dust here. Okay. But that was a lot of fun, members only. So make sure you guys tune into that one. Next Fast Start class, Quentin and I will be running that one. That's on the 3rd of November. All right, Thursday. Now, this is for beginning investors. Now, some of you guys, perhaps you don't have to be beginners, but maybe you guys are looking to do joint ventures. Why don't you send them to the class? First timers, they might want to know a few things about numbers, right? I think it's very important for you guys, especially starting out, to learn your numbers and know exactly how deals work. So definitely sign up for that. And as I suggested, bring friends, family, JV partners, bring them on, because now it looks like you've got a team. It looks like you're educated, right? We've got a bunch of upcoming events. Okay, I already talked about Neil D'Souza. We've got Fabio Campanella and Joseph Lepresti. They are going to be talking to us about estate planning. Okay, so now you guys are big time real estate investors. All right, you guys got to know what to do next, right? You guys got to know how to protect yourselves. All right, estate planning, probate, and wills. What happens if you guys die? Really, realistically, right? Now, you know what? That could make for a good horror story too, couldn't
it? Yeah.
All right, and then of course, everybody likes to know about what's going on in the market. So we've got Lisette McGann, and she's going to be doing a lunch and learn with us. National Housing Strategy with CMHC. All right, CMHC market updates. All right, what's next? All right, guys, have a look. These are just a quick sample of some of our clients. Listen, if you guys haven't dipped your toe in the water yet, this is the time. Over 42 of our clients just this year have actually taken action. Right now, there's October. There's a bit of October left. November, December. Don't worry about what's happening with the market. Look, Mandy's out there banging out deals right now as we speak. Mandy, you don't care about what's happening in the market. I mean, you do to a degree, but you're certainly still out there. You're looking. So, guys, understand, people are still out there doing it. Forget what you hear on the news. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. And don't forget, make sure you check us out, investor@smarthomechoice.ca. If you guys want to learn a bit more, make sure you check out the website, smarthomechoice.ca. Sign up, check out the membership, see what it can do for you. Make sure you don't forget also to put your name and your email information in. And if you guys are budding real estate investors as well, or you guys have been doing it for a while, definitely make sure you check out our real estate guide, Smart Home Choice guide, rather, to tenant screening. All right, tenant screening made easy.
All right, cool. Chris,
Nope.
Thanks for that. I don't know what those weird green lines are on that screen. That's weird. It looked like I was coloring or something, but I promise you it wasn't me. Anyways, okay, cool. So let's get to some questions here. Let me just go through this here. And in Quentin, oh, you weren't able to put any of those links in there, were you, Quentin?
No.
Yeah, Dara, do you want to see what's happening there?
Yeah, let me just check that.
Okay, cool. All right, so let me get to the first one here. Okay, so this is from Sean. If you find the asset and expect your JV to qualify, isn't that a risk?
Yeah. Yes, it definitely can be a risk. If I was asking my 21-year-old just graduated from college cousin, but typically you would have somewhat pre-qualified, or I mean, you guys know how the whole process works. As you're going to find a property, you're kind of sending these potential partners off to go get ready. Somebody might come to me and go, oh yeah, I'd like to invest, but I have to do my taxes, which will allow me to, put a HELOC on my house for me to be able to buy a house, to be able to buy an investment property. Well, then why don't you come and see me when you have a HELOC on your property, or you want to know the right specialist to go and talk to, but go and do your taxes. Like, you should be walking them through getting ready for qualifying for the mortgage for you. And if you're unsure that they're going to be somebody that will or will not be able to qualify, again, I'm not a mortgage broker, but you can have them go and talk to somebody that you think that's an investment focused mortgage specialist, and make sure that what you're shopping for is going to meet their qualifications. So you can have them pre-qualified.
Okay. And now everybody that's on the call as well too, this is kind of our time now to ask Mandy some questions. Feel free to turn your cameras on. If you haven't come to here, don't worry, man. We're not going to laugh, okay? Unmute yourselves, ask some questions, because, you don't get a chance at this every day to talk to somebody who's done millions and millions of dollars worth of joint venture deals and opportunities, all right? So go ahead, fire them off. Don't be shy. Like I always say, there are no dumb questions, okay? So bring them on.
Can you hear me okay? It's Rajiv.
Yeah, Rajiv, go ahead.
We'll have a couple questions. I don't want to hog up the whole time, but probably wanted to start with how you guys have this whole smart home choice. So if someone wanted to, get into real estate investing instead of JV, wouldn't they just come to you and be able to take, just like, for example, myself, I'm learning a lot through you, and I would love to buy on my own, but I can't get the financing. So I'm just wondering if, like, how we can how I can help somebody, like, if I get all knowledge from you guys and I use your, education, like, how am I going to attract that JV partner then, essentially? Because someone can come to you and get all the resources they need instead of me providing, like, okay, telling them that I'm going to help them with tenants. You can help them with a property manager or etc. You know what I mean? Kind of where I'm going with that question, sort of.
Yep. So if you believe that somebody else can do it on their own, then somebody else will believe that they can do it on their own. Let them go and do it on their own. Okay.
Yeah.
You've got to position yourself as, yeah, I mean, I say this often, what I do is not rocket science, okay?
Right, right.
Phenomenal people out there that absolutely Smart Home Choice is a power team to be able to say, I want to find a rental property. Can you help me legalize? These guys have all the power tools to be able to walk you through this. But guess
Exactly.
what?
Yeah.
How is your JV partner on this call tonight? Is your JV partner connected to this group? What is the value of these real estate agents? What's the value of you learning tonight? Okay?
Right,
So
right.
my JV partners are experts at what they do. So come up with this idea of who your ideal JV partner is, okay? And
Okay.
I'm the business owner, a professional, somebody who's probably working right now, but not on real estate. They have a lot of wealth, but maybe it's not diversified in real estate. You know, how many people turn to a financial planner? Could you be a financial planner? Yeah, we could take the courses. For sure, I can go and get my, you know, this license and that license and figure out how to do stocks and mutual funds and all this kind of stuff. I could do my own investing. It would take me a heck of a lot of time. I'd be unsure about it. I'm sure there's some YouTube videos I could watch and, you know, who knows whose value I'm going to listen to. Same thing goes with real estate, okay? It might take somebody years to be able to get the education level that you have because of the group like this that you're part of. So
Right.
start to realize the value that you have by that you're adding to a joint venture partner because of the resources that you have. Absolutely.
And Mandy,
Fair
I mean,
enough.
you've probably put in what, 10,000 hours of classes and networking events. Like, you know, you probably continue to go to them and you don't even need to, but you still continue to do it because there's always just a little bit more that you learn.
Work harder on yourself than you do on your job.
Jim
So yeah,
Rohn.
I mean, like the book that I'm reading right now is Psycho-Cybernetics. How to, you know, change your personal image, your self-image. Like that's the perfect book. And the one before that was like the Psychology of Sales, because we all need to continue to be salespeople. So how do I refine and tweak and get better and, you know, and improve all of my systems? So, you know, Jim Rohn says, you know, it's not, what we're learning right now is not, it's not $1 million worth of value, but what we're learning is because we choose to be here to learn it. And not everybody wants to be an expert in real estate. They just want to have a couple assets. They want to, you know, that's the other thing. Some of these coaching courses are thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. Well,
Yeah.
what if you're offering to your JV partner, come in and partner with me and I'll teach you along the way. And you won't have to pay me $10,000, you know, tens of thousands of dollars to join that coaching program for you to go and do it on your own.
True.
Yeah.
The other question I had was, for example, if you want to buy, you know, not complete BRRRR projects, or can you buy turnkey or fairly close to turnkey and then sell that to JVs, or does that just not make as much sense because it's harder? You're doing less work. Let's say you're buying a turnkey or something that's close to legal, then you know you're not applying to permits, you're not doing as big of a renovation, so then your JV might say, okay, you're not doing as much, and kind of have more pushback and be more wary of like what you offer. But do you offer more when you're doing a full BRRRR renovation?
Can you see me? I want you to put your hands on your hip and you're in a bit of a Superman pose, and I know this is a female Superman pose, and you're going to say to them, I have an asset. Would you like to invest with me? It's a 30% return on investment, and I'm offering you a 50-50 joint venture, okay? You're not really asking them. If you don't believe that the value of the asset is in the value of the asset, then you're never going to be able to communicate to somebody something that you already don't believe in, okay?
That's true.
Yeah.
So when I was starting out, I did a combination of turnkey, lipstick, and full renos. And why did I do that? Okay. I didn't have time. I didn't have a crew. My hubby was still working, and I was like doing all this shit on my own. So I had to kind of balance out my schedule. Some of my best assets were the darn turnkey assets. And you're like, well, but there's no lift in them. But they're phenomenal. They're turnkey. They're instant cash flow. They add a nice DCR to a portfolio. And in my head, you've got certain JV partners. And my story on it is my banker, my banker guy called me one time. He's like, hey, I'm looking at this property in Aurelia. And I said, are you in front of the car, right in front of the house right now? And he's like, yeah. I said, are you in your BMW? And he was like, yeah. I said, lock the doors and get out of there. Okay. Like, you in your suit in your BMW do not belong on this street. I said, go over by the university. So there's some brand new townhomes, condos being built. Let your wife pick out the paint color and stuff like that. And he bought 2. And why did he buy 2? Because they matched who he was. They matched the ideal tenant profile that he was happy to be able to tell people he owned rental properties for. Okay. So sometimes those turnkey assets will match a JV partner. The JV partner that have to lock the doors and get out of that part of town, but you think that part of town is a really good low price property and you might be able to turn the tenants over and might. Maybe your JV partner is looking for a turnkey deal and you can offer it to them.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for sharing that, Mandy. Appreciate it. Thanks for the question, Rajiv. And I'll add one additional thing onto that as well, too. So, and for anybody who's new on the call as well, too. So Smart Home Choice, we do have a membership. I think we're about like 87, 88 members strong. And right now, what we do, and we've been doing this for a number of years, is we're not matchmakers, but we will partner up investors with other investors. And then we say, look, go grab a coffee, go have a chat, see if you guys can figure it out. I mean, I know there's a couple people on this call this evening, like Trevor. We've sent people over to you. Tom, I think Chris has sent somebody over to you not too long ago, correct?
Yeah, and we're looking for the right property right now. He's been over to a couple of my renovations lately.
Yeah, perfect. Right. Sean, there's Sean on here, but I don't know if it's Sean Martin or not, but we just sent somebody over to him a couple of weeks ago. Right, Sean?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Who else is there? Sam, are you on here? Samuel? So we sent somebody over to Samuel not too long ago. So they've been going. Yeah. You guys went out, a couple weekends ago?
Yeah, we went out a couple times. We've spoken a few times, and they're actually on the call today too.
Yeah.
We're here. We're here.
Yeah. Right. You guys are there. Beautiful. See, so within our small community as well, too, we're helping you guys to be able to do joint ventures together. So making it a little bit easier and to go out with like-minded people to go buy investment properties. All right. So this is what we're here to do. We're here to help you guys. Right. So we could be watching Netflix, trust me, but we're not. We're here to help you guys. We really do. Because if you know what, and Mandy, and I think what it is too, because when you do find success, you want to share that. You do. You want to help other people, and that's why we're here. Okay, cool. So other questions for Mandy? Oh, hold on. There's one. Sorry, I can't even talk now. There's one for Amal. So when working the numbers, investment analysis, what percentage do you put for invisible costs?
Can you describe invisible costs, Amal?
Yeah.
So like, the backup sewage that you were talking about, or like things that just come up that you were not expecting, and we have to do that because there's a property, anything can come up. Yeah. Is there like a 5%, 10% that you would add to your investment analysis before presenting it to your potential investor?
So I do the vacancy allowance on all of my pro formas. So whatever is right for your area. And don't get me wrong, when we were doing Kingston, we literally put 0 vacancy, as that was what CMHC had posted. So that's a good place to be able to go and to know that number. So vacancy, maintenance is 5%, management is 5, 8, or 10, depending on the location for us. We even have snow and grass in our new cities that we're in. We constantly put a snow and grass expense just to be able to make sure. And then keeping in mind, Amal, that we have a $5,000 per property reserve fund. So it's never going to cover a sewer backup. You can accumulate cash flow if you know the roof is coming up or the furnace is old. And so, you know what, maybe if it makes it through this winter, let's make sure that we've accumulated cash flow to be able to pay for it. Or you have a cash call and both parties are going to have to put money in, okay? Which is, in my 50-50 scenario, one of the reasons why I look for financial stability from my partners to ensure that if that expense comes along, that we both have the ability to be able to pay for it.
Perfect. Great answer. And then Ron, what did you guys find anything when you guys went out with Sam? And then do you guys specifically have any questions for Mandy on joint ventures, since this is like the first one you guys are doing?
As it stands right now, so yeah, we did go out. We saw a few. We saw Sam's property, which was lovely, soon to be lovely. We had one come across our plate today that we're also kind of exploring. So things are moving along. I guess the only question that would come to mind would be kind of how would you plan the exit strategy? Like what comes to mind when you're dealing with your joint partners, thinking about, okay, how do we exit this property?
Good question.
So bear with me if all parties are on the call, and that is fine. So please just keep in mind that one of my first horror stories was too many cooks in the kitchen. Okay. And if you are having somebody who is stepping up as the working partner and somebody who is the passive partner, I just need you to make sure that the active partner is making sure that he's maintaining that active role, that expert role, and you don't get too many cooks going on in the kitchen. Okay. Again, I've never bought a property with a partner that happened to be there. Okay, because I don't need their opinion. Not that I don't need their opinion. Okay, so it's cool that you're both going around like this, but so I also want you just to have some boundaries, and I need, like, one person needs to be able to say, what do you want out of the joint venture? Mandy, what does Mandy want out of the joint venture? Okay, I would like a 5-year growth period. I'd like to build. And at the end of the 5 years, I want to have conversations with my joint venture partners. And if some of them want to feather away and go and do other things, we're going to sell those assets. And if others are super happy and it's working for me, then we're just going to continue to maintain them. So my share is, I would like you to know what you would like out of a joint venture, how long you would like to have it, so that when you're negotiating with your JV partner or you're talking to your JV partner, it's not like, there's conviction when here's something, you're like, hey honey, you want to go for dinner tonight? Yeah, okay. Well, where do you want to go? I'm not sure. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Well, do you want pizza? Yeah. You want? Yeah. And nobody's really making a decision. Or do you say, I'm going out for dinner tonight. I'm going to Freshie. Are you coming? Whoa, totally different idea in your mind as to what the outcome is going to be for dinner that night. Okay? So the difference in clarity is for you to be able to say, I'm looking for a 5-year joint venture partner. This is why. These are the outcomes that we're looking for. And I think it would be a great fit for you. Is that going to be a great fit for you? Tell them where you're going for dinner. Be very clear on the vision for the asset, and you're going to be able to buy them, like they're going to be able to buy into your vision. But there's nothing worse than somebody who doesn't even understand because you can't paint them a clear picture for what it is they're getting into. So I think 5 years are fair, follows the term of the mortgage. And it allows for a lot, appreciation, stabilization of the asset, and away you go.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And I like those, not having too many cooks in the kitchen, because you're right. And so Ron, Sasha, you guys, you can stay home, and you can rely on the expertise of Sam, because you know that he's purchased a great investment property. He's in the process of converting it, and he's going to be able to easily do it again. Right. So that's a really, really good point. And I'll add one other piece as well too. So me and Chris, we are partners on a property. I know more than Chris, but he calls all the shots. I'm joking.
Don't allow Chris to unmute himself.
I know. but he calls the shots. If he's going to buy a green fridge and he says, hey Gary, this is what I'm buying. This is the cost of it. I'm like, all right, cool, do it. And so we made that decision in the beginning that he calls the shots, and that's it. Either one of us could have done it, but we both don't do it. Right. So very, very important.
Mandy, we've got a question
makes
here
sense.
from Eric here. He's just,
Okay.
I guess, wanting clarification. Is the working partner on title? If not, how can they protect themselves and get their fair share of the profits? And before you answer that, Mandy, there's one that sort of piggybacks off that. A similar question from Rachel. So in a scenario where you also put 50% of the capital, but you're not on title, how do you protect yourself? So I think you can bang those answers out for both those.
Okay. So I give you what I was shared by my mentor. I give you some terminology to continue to use. Okay. As a working partner, I do not put any of my own money into a deal. Okay. And I share that because if I have my own money, I'll put it into my own deal because that's just what I could do. If you have to put in money to our own deal, you know, to help with renovation funds or float something or make the deal happen because they've got 80,000 and you need 100 and you're like, no problem, I'll put some money into the deal. That would be written out in the joint venture agreement. And I share this that you need to, you know, you ever heard that, you know, I give you $50,000 on a handshake? Like Gary's on my list, okay? I just like, if Gary were to call and say, Mandy and whatever, and you'd be like, it's on a handshake. I'm not telling you how to decide who could be on a list of yours. And maybe for you, nobody is ever going to be on that list, okay? But I have certain people that I know that if I say I'm going to do something and it's on a joint venture agreement and that joint venture agreement has been drafted by a lawyer and we open a joint account and I put in my 20 for them to be able to use for a down payment, then there is some security for you. And if there's not, then don't do it. So, because there are some scenarios that I don't know how to tell you your money's gonna be totally safe. Your name's not on title. You've given somebody $50,000. A joint venture agreement can have a lien on title, so they can't sell that asset without this lien or this caution on title kind of coming to surface. But I think that was that. So I don't put in my own money. It's just the way that I work my joint venture deals. And if you do put in your money, then I would potentially be going on title for that if I can, or making sure that there is a caution registered on title for your joint venture agreement.
Okay. Now listen, we had some technical difficulties a little bit earlier when I asked you guys all to give Mandy a smiley face. You guys should all have the ability to do that now. Can you guys please give her a smiley face, because she's been incredible this evening. She really has. Now, we usually kind of wrap it up right now. I don't know if you guys want to do maybe another 5 minutes. Man, if you've got time, does anybody have any other pressing questions? Ooh, look at that. You know, you're getting thumbs up and high fives. I love it. Beautiful.
Yeah, Gary, there's a couple more here in the chat that we have.
Hit me.
Yeah.
All right. This is from Sean. Mandy, have you done a JV with more than one partner? So what Sean is referring to is more than one JV on one property. So pros and cons of having potentially 3 partners on a deal.
So again, my deals are 50-50. And what I'm kind of sharing is that over here, there's somebody who qualifies for the mortgage and brings the down payment. And I'm over here doing all my shit. Okay. And so if somebody says, I'll bring the money, and somebody says, I'll qualify for the mortgage, and Mandy says, I'm still doing the same shit, then it's still going to be a 50-50 here. And you guys can potentially have 25 and 25. Now, my hope is for these 2 people is that they're like brothers, they're relatives, they're friends, they're something, because they're on their own side of the joint venture agreement. You're over here doing the same stuff that you've always done, pounding out the good deals, finding and negotiating undervalued market properties, all that kind of stuff, coordinating the renovations. These guys need to kind of get it figured out. Do I have the max I've ever done is 2 people, and they are 100% on their, like they're on their own. They know each other. So how they've split it, how they do it, it's all accounted for on the joint venture agreement and on our tax returns. But I myself would not be, 30, 30, 30 unless somebody is taking on some of my role over here. But other than that, as long as I'm doing everything that I'm doing, you know, you might be able to have a couple people over here. I wouldn't try and split it too thin, really. I really wouldn't.
No, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And Taran's asking, do you recommend having a joint bank account for every JV partner?
Yep.
That's an easy
Plain and
one
simple.
for you. That's
Yep.
it.
I really want it to be super clear for my accountant, for my bookkeeper. I want it clear for my joint venture partner. Now, maybe not, you said per partner. So if I have a partner that has 4 properties, there will be one bank account, 4 properties in there. If that gets a little too messy, because, you know, some are in this city and some are in that city, then I might have two bank accounts for one partner, but the rest of it will be all in one bank account. So just imagine though, like I've got 50 bank accounts. I'm not saying this is not like a logistical nightmare, okay? But you just kind of work with it.
Ryan, you can open up your mic and ask Mandy your question.
Hi, Mandy. What are the downsides of the working partner going on title? Like you mentioned, the working partner doesn't necessarily go on title, but what are the downsides of the working partner being on title, especially in future deals?
Right, future deals.
In more than one deal, yeah.
Yeah. So the banks have limitations. So let's just say, you know, you're like, hey, Mandy, I want to partner with you and I want you to come on title. I actually hinder a mortgage application. Okay. I have a lot of mortgages. I have, like, the banks don't like me anymore, you know, that kind of thing. Okay. And so I would hinder your mortgage qualifications. So you don't want me on title. And then if you're a working partner and you go on title and you start to build some wealth and you're like, oh, this is awesome. Now I can go do my own because I have $100,000 and I can do a property on my own. You've just used up 3 or 4 or 2 or however many mortgage qualifications over here being a working partner. So it's not frowned upon to my accountant. She tells me I don't need to be on title at all. I'm not painting a scary picture here for you, okay? Most of the time, the passive partner never steps foot near the property. So, remember, this is a human interaction. Yes, we have a joint venture agreement on the legal end of a relationship, and we have a relationship where we have fun together, which was the JV partners that you know, sent me a letter and said, see you later. And you have to realize that you got to stay in the middle. You got to have the agreement to be legal, and you've got to be able to have a relationship to have some conversations with. So you're kind of keeping your things here, but a working partner really, it doesn't help a mortgage qualification.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna do one more question.
Okay, we got Donnie here asking, how important is it to develop your personal brand on social media in order to attract JVs?
I think it's essential. And, you know, I just want people to know that that's what you're doing. You know, what's funny, we do a big Zoom thing here with my family, and for whatever reason, they put me as, you know, a speaker view. And somebody's like, oh no, Mandy's gonna talk about real estate. And I was like, dude, the cool thing is, you know that I do real estate, okay? So you can be a quiet little mouse, but if you want to attract financial partners, well, they got to know that you're doing real estate to even know that you're somebody that they are going to want to talk to about real estate. So that's posting pictures of, look at me, I'm with my realtor, I'm doing this, I'm at the city hall learning about secondary suites, I'm on a house tour, I'm seeing some projects, I've gone to a fellow investor's secondary suite. You're allowed to be able to share this stuff. So people are like, what do you got going here? You know, this is what you've gone on 2 vacations this year. What do you got going? I'm like, oh, I just got this little real estate thing going on over here. You know, oh, Larry has a new truck and you have a new vehicle. I'm like, yeah, you know, I got this little real estate thing going on over here, right? You're attracting people. They're starting to see that you're not living the same kind of life. What do you mean you got laid off and you're not posting depressing pictures? You're like, no, I got this little real estate thing going on over here. Okay. So I do think it's really essential that you're sharing that kind of stuff to be able to tell people what's going on in your world.
Exactly. Don't be a private eye. You know, I mean, if you guys go on my social media, you'll know that I'm into real estate. If you follow Mandy, you'll know that she's into real estate. And you know what? And people constantly reach out to me. And I'm sure, Mandy, I'm sure you get the same as well too, right? Even from friends and family, like, okay, I've seen what you've been doing. What are you really doing? You know, and sometimes it's such a huge eye opener when they sit down and talk to you, and then eventually sometimes they get into it. So
Can I answer these 3 questions really fast?
sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
Pedro, do you partner on JVs and buy properties where the partner is a corporation? Absolutely. On the joint venture agreement, it can be personal to personal if you don't have a corporation and your partner doesn't have a corporation. It can be personal. My JVs are personal and I bring in my corp, so the joint venture agreement is personal to corp, and it can be corp to corp. Okay? And there's really no pros and cons. It's a matter of a personal choice. It depends. Talk to your accountant. Make sure that you're not in the wrong tax bracket, or that you're maximizing the ability to be able to reduce your taxes by high five. Don't be cheap. Put it in a corporation. Set up a corporation. Yes, there's a fee. Yes, your tax preparation is higher every year, and you will thank your accountant in 10 years. Okay. Michael, if doing a rehab after purchase, should the cost solely land on the financial partner? I don't know. That's a good question you can ask yourself. If you feel comfortable being able to tell your financial partner that it's going to be $80,000 to do a legal basement suite, then that's, to me, a cost that's being told and explained up front. So part of the deal is, yes, I'm looking for you to qualify for a mortgage. We'll say $400,000. You're going to need $80,000 for down payment and the renovation funds. So it's not fair. The unfairity would be like, oh yeah, come on in on this single family home, and you close on it and you're like, well, of course we're making it a secondary suite and it's going to cost you 80 grand. Well, maybe it's not fair that you weren't able to articulate what it is you wanted to do with that property. Who gets the cash if doing a refi after rehab? Awesome question. I don't get paid until my partners get all their original capital back. Original capital being down payment, closing costs, and carrying costs and renovation funds. So if my partner puts in 200 grand and we do a refi and we get back 140, guess who gets the 140? Them. They're also then at that point going to leave $60,000 in the asset. Pretty sweet ass deal to have a nice converted duplex with only say 60 grand involved. At the end of 5 years, we'll say we'll do another refinance. The first $60,000 gets paid back to that original capital. Okay, it's clearly outlined. It's clearly documented. We've got all the purchase and sale agreements, refinance documents, bank account documents. We know exactly how much capital that partner has left in it. During the duration of the joint venture, I do split cash flow 50-50 because everybody needs to put some food on their table. Okay, and I don't really want to pay back equity capital with, oh, here's $700, here's $700, here's $700. I'd rather go, here's 140,000 and we'll get you the last 60 at the end of the 5 years. There was one more.
One more?
How do joint ventures declare property depreciation and operating expenses on their individual tax return? Again, just keep in mind, personal or corporate. We've got 123 Main Street. We have the income from that property. We both claim full income. We claim full expenses for that property. And then it says, what's your profit or what's your loss, profit or loss, okay? And then it says, what percentage of ownership do you have? 50, okay? So you're going to claim 50% of the income or the 50% of the profit or loss per year. 50% on for mine, okay? So we might pay different tax on that, and then come flash forward, capital gains, same thing. We're each gonna pay 50% of the gain. You might pay a different tax bracket based on how you hold the asset, and I'll pay a different tax bracket if I'm held in a court, but we still pay 50% of the gain.
Perfect. Mandy, listen, thank you so much for doing this tonight. It's an honor to call you a friend. Who do we got in the call here? Rajiv, thanks for your question. Sam, Ron, Sasha, Debbie, Jim. Who else? Brian, Benjamin. We haven't met before. Wilson. Hey, Wilson, congratulations. I know you guys just picked up a property, I think out in London or something like that. Isabel, Tom, Amal, thank you guys all for being here very much. If you guys want to learn more about what we do at Smart Home Choice, check out our website. Myself, Christopher Hummel, Quentin Cordet, Darlene Hibbert, we're all here to help you. And we want to see everybody here succeed. We really and truly do. Next week, like I said, we're going to be here same time, different guest speaker, but please give Mandy another round of applause and a nice little smiley face, and reach out to her. And follow her on social media. Oh, and one last thing, listen to the podcast that I did with her last week, the $39 Million Woman. It's incredible. There's some incredible gems in there. It was so much fun. Loved having you in the studio. And, you know, it's the mindset. We talked so much about mindset in that one. So it was great. It was really good. So thank you guys all very much for joining. I really appreciate it. You guys enjoy the rest of the evening. And I think there's a debate tonight. I think Trump and Biden.
Yeah.
I don't know who's winning that one. All right, guys. Take care. Have a great night.
Right.
Bye.